We're super excited today. We have an amazing guest. We have Alba Marquez Canalejo. I hope I didn't butcher your name.
Fantastic.
Just to give you a little background here, she is the global head of expansion at Google Cloud Security.
Alba, welcome. We're really excited to have you here. I believe you're here today as well as part of the event that we've hosted here at the pool. So it's nice to see that you've been seeing a little bit and meeting a little bit of our community. So yeah, I'd like to welcome you here. I would really like our members to know a little bit more about you. So if you'd like just to introduce yourself, tell us who you are and what you do.
So I'm Alba Marquez from Sevilla. And
Important detail.
Important
She was quick
I'm
to
from
say it.
Andalusia.
Yeah.
That's very important.
Represent.
The most important thing, the second sentence, I'm from Sevilla. And right now I'm working, I've been working at Google for 8 years. And 4 years ago, I came to Malaga to do different things. And right now, I lead a global team for expansion and retention at security, Google Cloud Security. So basically, I manage teams, people, I don't know. Serve people, that's what we say.
Really, really interesting.
Cool.
I can be a little bit annoying in that aspect. You went really quickly over as I've been doing other things when I came to Malaga. And so my next question is going to be, Alba, it's okay with you. I'd like to hear a little bit of your story, where you started and what took you to Malaga and from Virus Total to Google, et cetera, et cetera.
So it's important to say that I'm from Seville because...
Again, in case
everything
anybody...
has started there, everything has started there. I went to a public university, public school, public high school. I'm from there. I study advertising and criminology, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, both at the same time. And when I was, done with my studies, I started to work in a local agency. And from there, I went to Madrid to work for an international marketing company. Whose base is in London. I was working there for a couple of years, being kind of like an account manager, project manager, coordinating customers, always customer facing. And because of a personal reason, because of love, I moved to the US. And
Whereabouts in the US?
We're in California, San Francisco. But it was because of love. It was,
So that could be the title of a film, like I moved to Silicon Valley for love. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was true. Actually, I didn't even know what Silicon Valley was.
And now I work for Google.
But the thing is, being there, when you go to America, being a European, is quite difficult. It's challenging, and at the same time, they have plenty of opportunities. So it's the perfect mix if you are perseverant enough, right? So when I got there, I didn't speak English. I mean, my English was very broken. I thought I did, but I didn't, right? Then what else? I didn't have American studies. It doesn't matter how many degrees I had in Europe because I studied in public universities. So it's not Cambridge or, the University of Seville is not famous. And I had no American work experience and I had no network. So I was no one, right?
And you were alone there, I can imagine.
And I was alone with my husband and his family, but I was alone. So it was difficult to start. And what I did was preparing my interviews very well, meeting people. And I did a bunch of interviews until I had my resume in every single portal, right? And suddenly one day an agency called me to interview for Google. And it was kind of like, I can't believe this is happening to me. This is amazing, right? Like, oh my God. And I did the interviews at Google and I started to work there as a TVC. TVC is a temp. That means that you are not paid and hired by the company. You were at the company, but not for the company. So
kind of like a consultant?
It's kind of like a vendor.
Okay.
Kind of like a vendor. Adecco, whoever is paying you. And I remember my husband saying, oh, that's not worth it because in Silicon Valley, there's so many jobs. You can go somewhere else. They're gonna pay you same or even better. I had 2 hours of commuting a day, so 20 hours on a bus, which was crazy. I don't know how I did it. But you know, my dream was working for Google. It's like, man, I got this opportunity and I'm gonna make it. And I don't care. I'm gonna make it. And I remember also saying to my family-in-law, just give me one chance. I don't care if I start serving coffees. I'm happy with that. Because I know I'm gonna make my way to the top. But I just need a chance because I'm no one, right?
Alba, how old were you at that moment?
Point, 28.
28. Okay. Really interesting. No, I could imagine. The girl from Sevilla who lands in Silicon Valley and all of a sudden has got the option to work for Google. So yeah, how did it continue from there?
So from there, I was in sales, always in sales, for 2 years, a year and a half. And the first year I was the top performer of my team, but I was a vendor, you know? So, and at that point in time, only 1% of vendors were converted to FTEs, full-time employees.
1%.
1%. So even though I was the top of my group, you know, I wasn't lucky enough that year because my manager didn't have enough influence. There is also a lot of stuff that you might work hard, but you need also to meet the opportunity, right? Like opportunity and preparation needs to meet together.
Right time, right place kind of thing.
Exactly. So you need to do everything you can, right? You need to work hard, but also you need a little chance,
Absolutely.
right?
Foot in the door.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the following year, I was super lucky because 2 people went on maternity leave. Therefore, I had 3 quotas. My quota, my sales quota, and 2 people's quotas. And I hit the 3 of them.
Wow.
So with that, it's like, man.
With your broken English, as you said before.
Well, I was working for LATAM. That helped me a lot.
Okay, yeah. So then
That
your
helped me a
broken
lot.
English fell in fine. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, that helped me a lot. But yeah, and I hit the 3 of them. And also at the same time, I strategized with my manager at the time, who is such an amazing human being. And I got a position in Salesforce. And then I negotiated with Google. Like, I know the headcount is open in April, but if you don't give me the headcount, I'm leaving. And they brought the headcount ahead of time.
Really interesting.
You really were prepared to walk away, right? It was like one of those ultimatum moments, right?
Yeah, but yeah,
Paid off.
exactly. With an offer on the table and stuff. But I wanted to stay, so I worked
must
so
have been
hard.
a nervous moment for you. I could imagine you those days. It's like, you know, are they
Yeah.
going to call me or not? Did I do right? Did I do wrong? Could be
Yes.
interesting, yeah.
I think, you know, I think I got the job on top of hitting and performing and stuff because so many people helped me. Like so many. It was the 3rd time I was going through the interview process. So the first time I did the screening, the interview, I had been working at Google for a month, only 1 month. I didn't even pass the screening. Not even the screening. You know, like nothing. So then 2 years later, a year and a half later, I was able to make it because I have shown my results, but also because so many people prepare me for the interviews.
Yeah.
So many. So at the end, to me, at the end of the day, it wasn't an achievement. That was my personal achievement. It was a community achievement, you know? And I think that's something very good that Americans have. Giving back. I think that's super important. Helping each other. Because you are way more powerful with good people surrounding you.
That's why I think, and I completely agree, a lot of people always say that it's important to be at the right place at the right moment. But for me, the main thing is with the right people.
Yes.
I think all of us have got stories and how certain managers or people basically influence part of our lives that have made us become who we are, for better or for worse. But it's all about who you surround yourself with. So, Alba, tell me so we're still in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Now I want to see the moment that you decide to go to Malaga. For a Sevillana to go to Malaga must be an interesting step.
So from there, I went to Texas, and I
Okay.
was working when I got the FTE, and I was working in Texas, an FTE, working in the American market. And from there, I also moved to, so I did different stuff in Latin America and also North America. And Google is a company that is, the only constant is change. So you need to be ready to change and be flexible enough. Because once upon a time, now it's a little different because we are more enterprise focused. But at that point in time, we were hiring people for the company, not for the position. So out of 4 interviews, only one was role related. The other three were cognitive abilities, leadership, googliness. So it wasn't about, we were trying to hire people able to work in different areas.
Adapt.
Exactly, because the company needs to be flexible in order to keep on being successful and not firing people, and to be able to reallocate people and keep the talent. So at that point in time, I was working for Latin America, and they hired a new VP in Latin America. And they say, he was Argentinian. He is still in cloud. And he was like, I'm Argentinian. I think we have good talent here. So all the talent that are going to work in Latin America should be from Latin America, and overall should stay in Latin America. There is no point of having people like myself 15 hours by plane from my main customer. It was ridiculous. So obviously he changed the rules, but I was going to be sent to Latin America. And I love Latin America. I love Argentina. I've been there many times, and it's super fun for holidays. At that point in time,
I like that kind of
Very,
specification right
very
there. Yeah,
subtle,
okay.
subtle.
so at that point in time, I was like, okay, I don't really want to move. I'm 30 something, and at this point in time, I don't want to start my life again there. So I want to stay, and I look for a job inside the company, because when Google relocates you, it's kind of like you want it or you don't, and if you don't, you can find another position. But it's not that they are going to give to you 20 different opportunities. You need to take care of yourself. That's also very American, like you figure it out. So suddenly a friend of a friend called me. We had connected because they have opened an office in Malaga. And suddenly that person that I connected in the past, months before, just for the curiosity of having an office in Malaga, right? He told me, Calva, they are going to open positions here. Why don't you apply? I was like, okay, sure.
Had coming back to Andalusia ever been like one of your priorities at that point?
It wasn't at that point.
Okay.
I was super happy in Austin, Texas, and I didn't want to come back, but I did the process, and at the end of the day, the opportunities I had in front of me, the best one was Malaga, and I thought, okay, I don't want to leave, but when am I going to have this opportunity of coming back to my hometown,
To your roots,
right?
yeah.
To Andalusia, with a good company, with a good salary, doing something I like, being able to grow in a very sexy environment in cloud, right? That was security, cyber. So it was kind of like, it's not my moment, but I cannot miss this opportunity.
Yeah.
I cannot say no.
The train was moving and you either had to
Exactly.
get on it or you didn't.
Exactly. And I was
How many years ago was that, can I ask?
4 years in pandemia, during the pandemic.
Wow.
Yeah, and I remember talking to Cristina Pitach. She's the head of EMEA, the global director of EMEA, and kind of like, look, I'm about to get my American citizenship, and she was like, I don't care. You're gonna manage customers all over the world. You're gonna manage the FBI, the American bank, whatever. You're gonna stay there, and you can come when you are ready with your papers. So we had such a good leaders that were able to understand personal situation and at the same time keeping the talent. Kind of like, okay, it's gonna be for 2 months, who cares, right? And then the pandemic hit. So
And Cristina she was also here.
yes,
Yeah, exactly.
She
Yeah,
was in
exactly.
Dublin at that point.
Okay.
And then she moved.
Oh, so
to-
she followed your move
she
to
moved
go to Malaga.
She was managing the team from Dublin, and the reason why we all came to Malaga was Virus Oro. So basically, Virus Oro had been a good and successful company since 2009, I think. But when they graduated, when Google bought them, they merged with Chronicle. That was kind of like a $1 billion product, because Virus Oro is a very good product, super well known in the industry, but it's very niche. Chronicle is a product, or Google Cloud Security now is a product that is $1 billion product because it's a must have, right?
More accessible.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when they created Virusural here, they wanted to have the hub here because the company had started here. So they wanted to have hopefully local talent. Bernardo Quintero always bet for local talent. And on top of that, because they wanted to have kind of like a team where engineers and sales could learn from each other and could make sales can provide feedback so we can make the product better, and they can also teach us technical abilities that salespeople don't have. So, and that was the perfect mix. So when we started, in my team, we were 4 people. Under Cristina, we were around, 15. And globally, we could be 35 or 40. Now we're 600.
Wow.
In 4 years. So the journey has
Quite
been
a jump.
And what role does the Malaga office, as you call it, play in this? Because for me, being a Malagueño, basically, it's exciting to see that Google moves, not want to say headquarters, but say the cybersecurity quarters to Malaga. I think a lot of people like to know exactly what's happening in that building. You mind to tell us a little bit about that building, what the role it plays?
Yeah, that is the GSEC, what we call GSEC. And there are only 9 in the world. And Malaga is one of them. So basically, we're doing different things. In one way, we are the center for cybersecurity. We help startups and small companies, and we kind of like give back to the society, training people, educating students, schools, companies, organizations, etc. And at the same time, so that's one of the tasks that the center has. And also, we bring customers from the entire world here to have a cybersecurity experience, like full immersion.
Okay.
What kind of clients would that be? The people that you bring to Malaga to give them that cybersecurity experience?
So any top, any big corporation like BBVA, I know, like Deutsche Bank, Bank of America, FBI, like anyone that you can think of.
It's a really interesting way to promote, to show this new, because I mean, I've been here for basically all my life, and the way I've seen this new Malaga, even, Marbella, of course, but this new Malaga, I think a lot of people have no idea that this Malaga itself is turning to I would call it a tech destination. Obviously, maybe call it Silicon Valley of Europe, but I don't know if we're there yet, but I would like to have your insight on that. I mean, how do you see Malaga in the next 10 years?
I would love that. I think we have the talent. I think the city and the environment is perfect because of the food, the weather, the people, how we live, the airport, like everything is perfect
good work-life balance.
The work-life balance. Everything is perfect to create here a hub. The only issue I'm seeing is that Digis and Nomads, they are super open to come here because they have all of that, right? And they have good salaries from outside. What I'm seeing is that I would love to have more companies to join Google's decision, right? And invest here. Because, and at the same time, I understand that the tax system in Spain is not the most attractive one. So from my point of view, we will need to review the tax system in order to attract certain type of corporations, because digital nomads are going to come. They are also applied in the Beckham law. So actually they are not given that much to the society, at least for 5 years, right?
Exactly.
Then if they decide to stay, fantastic. So, but that doesn't create jobs. They already bring their own jobs, which is fantastic because they depend on their own. But we are not leveraging this opportunity to make Andalusia and Malaga a better place for their locals. So I would like to give the chance that I had to local people. And right now, that's not that easy because there are not so many companies and not so many positions.
Right.
That always comes back to one of my reflections that I've always had is that I think especially Junta Andalucía, but especially Malaga, I think they kind of need to start deciding either if they're going to be focusing on pure tourism. And that's why you mentioned digital nomads. At the end of the day, the services they require from Andalucía and from Malaga basically are quite similar to what a tourist would need.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you want to create this new tech hub, etc., you need a complete different array of services, infrastructure, etc. So I think, me personally, I think there will come a point that right now we're kind of balancing both, but I think will come a point that we actually need to,
Have a
yeah,
focus.
exactly, to have a clear view of where the town hall or etc. wants to go. So I think
Because
that's-
companies like Google, even us as a hub with a mass network that we have, we can start passing that information on, because not everybody outside of Spain will know what the new regulations are or what the new advantages are of bringing your company here, for example, especially if there are any changes. I think it's really important, like you both said, to try to find a way to get the laws in place to be more attractive.
Yeah.
Alba, I think I would like to know a little bit about your day-to-day now, as it's being operated from Malaga. What would be a regular day entail for you?
Many meetings. Sometimes 15 meetings a day. It's
With clients
crazy.
or
No,
internally?
not with clients anymore. With internal meetings.
Internal meetings, yeah.
With APJ sometimes, and with America the majority of the time. And that's a little challenging because we're working with West Coast, which is 9 hours apart. So sometimes that's the reason why also some companies are bringing their hubs to New York or to Atlanta in order to have a better communication with the other side of
6 hours.
Yeah, 6
Some-
hours is
something makes a
much
difference.
better. It's much better. But that part is challenging. But then basically my day to day consists of listening to people, understanding their needs, and trying to match their needs to our business goals.
So, in your role as, global head of expansion and cloud security, what would you say are the biggest threats that companies seem to face as they scale globally? What do you feel like are the most major issues that people seem to come across?
In my industry, in cyber, is the fact that we don't have enough talent. So we need to kind of like attract people from other areas and train those people.
Right.
That's one. Like talent is key, right? Being able to attract the talent. The second one, I thought about it, but I forgot. When you were asking the question, I was thinking about talent and challenge for, what was the question?
Just when companies are scaling globally, what challenges
We
do they
scale
face?
too fast.
Without
And that has
planning.
Exactly. So in our case, we merge with Mandiant. We acquire Mandiant, no merge. We acquire them, and we were 100 people, something like that, in the sales side. 100 or maybe 200, I don't know. And with Mandiant, now we are 600 something.
Wow.
So they were 3 times our size. So when a company acquires another company or company merge, it's difficult to keep the culture. So right now, I think that the biggest challenge we have, and with AI, what is going to happen, is that some companies are going to go down and other companies are going to grow very, very fast.
Too fast?
Too fast. So the problem is, how do you keep good culture, keep good talent, keep people motivated, and set the right process in the right place in a matter of weeks?
Right.
Because the year goes on and you need to, bring results. So
Following on that, cloud security is evolving rapidly. So
Yeah.
how would you say you kind of stay ahead of the curve with these new threats and these new emerging technologies in that industry? Because everybody's acquiring some sort of cloud, or they need the security for it for either personal or professional reasons.
working hard, being smart and strategic on the decisions, who you acquire, why we acquire them, which are the main reasons why we are making some decisions, like being reflective, and at the same time making the team feel unified. Like this is not someone's project, right? This is everyone's project. And kind of like having that culture is super important to keep everyone fighting for the same thing.
Right. Just kind of keep everyone on the same page.
Yes.
Just a final question, woman to woman, in a male-dominated industry like cybersecurity, how did you overcome that, and how do you feel like the industry could be a bit more inclusive?
So it's interesting because I have two different perspectives depending on the position I was in. So when I was a seller selling in Latin America, white, European, female, everyone was going to open the door. Everyone was going to meet. I'm working for Google. Everyone wants to meet you, right? They might not buy from you, but they're gonna meet you. So that was very easy.
Worked in your favor.
Worked on my favor. So I'm not saying, oh, being a woman is the worst. No. For some situations, it's the best. It's easier, much easier.
Yeah.
Overall, with Latin American market, with North American market is different because they are Protestant. How do you say?
Protestant. Yeah.
And they are quite more distant to avoid misunderstandings. So it's more difficult with Americans than with Latin American, right? Latin American, very easy. And it's also the culture is very welcoming. So as a seller, worked on my favor. As a leader, it didn't. Because when a woman tries to go and ask for or express their opinion or ask for whatever they think
or demand
is
results,
fair
maybe
or whatever, the female can be seen as aggressive. And I've been in calibrations where, oh no, but that person is aggressive. If that person was a man, you wouldn't say aggressive.
Right.
You would maybe use another term,
Assertive,
maybe. Yeah, exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So it depends on the position. Like if you are in, at the beginning of the funnel or whatever, it's fine if you're a female. It might feel weird because everybody's a male and you are alone in a room. But it works on your favor because everybody will remember your name and your face.
That's true.
Right? When you're a leader, it's different. It's way more difficult.
And how do you feel like you overcome those challenges now as a leader in your field?
With the support of other females is the only way.
Okay.
With the support of other females and having allies, obviously, right? So I think that's the only way. Like not because you're gonna present better results. Sometimes it doesn't depend on how you expose things, right? It's the relationship that you have created. It is gonna give you the authority.
Right.
Alba, I think we've covered quite a lot of topics. It's been great to have you here.
Thank you for sharing everything with us from, your journey to your professional one. It's
a Sevillana in Silicon Valley and back to Malaga. It's been really, really fun. I think we could sit here and talk for hours, but yeah. Thank you for your time, Alba. We're looking forward to have you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you
for
so
inviting
much.
me. Bye.